shot back-to-back videos, and what I'm doing here is wrapping up the edit for CGR 20th, the 20th Anniversary Retro Spectacular, which is about 70% complete, 65-70% complete. I'm going to do some more narration work on it this morning, some more editing, and I'm going to create a list for it that I'll show you. Also wrapping up CGR 2085. The production for that's done, but I still need to complete the packaging and all the marketing writing. Actually, the trailer's done. That's a big... Trailers are tough. Those are huge editing jobs. And this has taken about 3 weeks to produce to date, which is a pretty hefty job in the middle of everything else. But I know the classic game room stuff pretty well, so I can move fairly quickly through this. But there's still an awful lot to do. So let's make a list of what needs to be completed here for CGR 20th. Take a look at the editing process. Maybe you'll find it interesting to see what goes into one of these, because Classic Game Room is about 80% editing, so it's a lot of computer work. It's a very time-consuming show, a time-intensive show to produce, I should say. It's fun, but it's a lot of work. That's why I can't do it anymore on the internet. All right, so start with the list here, because then I actually need to start completing things on the list. All right, I actually haven't even made a list for this yet. I've just been doing it all off the top of my head, which is fine for starting a project, but not for completing it. We have editing. And it doesn't really do me any good to make a list for editing specifically. At the end, I tend to make a list of like the last couple things that need to be done, but right now I just need to actually go through the whole thing and finish a pass. So I could break this off into smaller lists later. Once the editing is done, there's QA. For a 90-minute production, it's actually not too bad. I just went through 18 hours for CGR Supreme, so a 90's nothing. Then you have trailer. Well, I did a advanced trailer for that, but not the final trailer, since there's a lot of new footage going in there. I just shot a bunch of stuff yesterday, in fact. Trailer, then there's marketing text, and that goes across the, let's see, website, Vimeo, those two things, also with the trailer. Cover art, which has multiple components. For cover art, we've got the art itself, which I just wrapped up the cover design last night. Really excited about it. I'll show you that later. And that art actually has to go to multiple projects too. It's got to go to the physical packaging, the digital packaging, all of which need different sizes, and I'm making poster print out of it since it is based on a piece of digital art. Now beyond that, let's see, I've got the writing on the back of it, which is going to be partly the text, so it's basically take the web work from that. And then additionally, there's QA on top of that. Now, if I wasn't just shooting a video, I might make this a little more coherent, but you get the idea. All this stuff needs to be completed in order for this to be released. Packaging and inventory. That's done well in advance. You don't want to screw that one up. Website's already done. I have to bring over the text when it's complete, but that's an easy one. And then, of course, there's what I would just call publishing, which is really just taking everything and just putting it together. How about this? Release/publishing. And then there's shipping, fulfillment, which is something else entirely. Don't have any time to write. That's just CGR 20th. That doesn't include any of the fun stuff, really, like the production and the screaming and yelling into the microphone. Everything that you see is the fun part. This is all the behind-the-scenes stuff. In fact, I'm probably forgetting a bunch of things, but this one's actually pretty well under control. This is just the beginning of the CGR 20th timeline. And I've actually got a lot of live stuff I want to shoot in between each of the review segments. I'm going to shoot some CRT footage, especially for the Atari 2600, Magnavox Odyssey 2 stuff going into here. I've already done some of that here for the review of killer bees. Your only defense against the killer bees is the bug-zapping Rosha ray. Methinks they were inspired by the Zorlon cannon, or at least I hope so. All right, well, I'm getting to work, and I'll see you soon.